One last thing before we leave the tool palette. It's not actually in the tool palette, but it's accessible from the tool palette, is the color swatch. I want to really quickly go over the color swatch and explain what's going on in here. And in Flash, you have two different color swatches, one for your stroke. Let's make our stroke a nice green color. One for our fill, a nice pink color. So you can see these two different colors, and any of these options are available to you, whether it's stroke or fill. So you've got your alpha here, which is transparency. So for example, let's say I decided that I want my transparency or my alpha to be 50. Right here you can see the kind of grid system that's showing underneath the color to show you how much transparency is there. You can change to 50% or change to 10%. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that when you've picked it, you see the transparent symbol here with the grid in the background. And then, if you come over and you decide, I want to fill this with that transparent, let me deselect that first. Okay, so there we have this transparency. Now, the interesting thing is when it's selected, you can't tell that it's transparent. It's not until you deselect it, you can just probably barely see that on your screen capture. So let me enlarge the size of it. And the color when it's selected has nothing to do with when it's deselected, but you can see that we've just cut out all of that, all of those strokes and fills that were underneath. If I was to put this on a different layer, it wouldn't do that, and you'd be able to see the other colors showing underneath. In fact, let me do that right now. So I'm going to layer 2 and paste, and then when I place this on top of other fills, you can see that this is kind of just peeking through. Let me adjust this to 50% so that you can see a little clearer. And now you can see that we've got this transparency going on here. You do that the same thing for the stroke, and then finally down here we have our gradients, and you can select radial gradients. In fact, we're going to go through gradients. Let me make another video that talks about that in this next section.